part sometimes when you say it, I'm like, maybe I get it. But a lot of it just sounds like pick me, choose me, love me.
She's literally flicking her being online, lives on her own, doing her own thing, can't make her own decisions.
Did we not say there's no exceptions? Did we not say there's no exceptions?
I didn't say she can.
All of a sudden, okay.
Most men, and by the way, most men do prefer, or they do find younger women, keyword women, more physically attractive.
But that's not the sole reason they want to be with them.
What's the reason then? Because
there's other reasons, sure.
Yeah,
because they could manipulate it.
They can manipulate them.
I feel like
it's not always the case, though.
It's not.
So that's like a big word to use. Like, imagine if I said that about you, like you manipulate a whole bunch of people. That's not true. You know what I mean? Like,
am I a 30-year-old dating 20-year-olds?
That's not all men, though. That is not.
I'm not a 30-year-old.
Not all men. Not all men. We're always not fucking saying all men.
Like, older, and that's okay. You're a woman.
We're talking about a
there's nothing wrong with that.
Like, no.
So why can't a man have a preference? I'm not seeing the big issue.
We're not saying they can't have a preference. We're saying it's weird when their preference might be based on something that's not just a preference. When it's based on something that's...
It's weird because it's not your preference.
Okay, Brian is saying that the main reason why older men go for younger women is solely because they're attractive, better looking than older women.
Not solely. There's other reasons.
Then that's one reason.
That's a big one.
Personally, I believe the other reasons why an older gentleman would want to go for a young girl that just turned 18, 19, 20 is because they can have more influence on her. They can manipulate her more easily. She's more vulnerable. More so than a woman who is maybe 25, 26, 27, has had a lot of experience in relationships and experience with men.
Or we just don't want to date a woman who's been ran through and has a bunch of emotional
trauma
and baggage.
Is every woman that's over 20 years old ran through,
No, but the older you are, the more likelihood to have had a higher partner count.
Can men be ran through?
Men can't be ran through.
Why?
No, they can't.
Why?
So how is this?
It's different. It's typically different.
Ran through is like loosening up, right?
Okay, can I say something about this?
You can't loosen up a man.
Can I say something to you about this, actually? Hold on, please.
I mean, if you want.
Please,
there's other holes.
So, what makes you, so you're saying ran through loose, right? What makes you, somebody who's been in a relationship the past 2 years, fucking who knows how much, versus me, who's had intercourse 4 times this past year, wouldn't, just because it's the same dick, wouldn't yours be looser than mine on that logic, though? When it comes to relationships?
Only 4 times?
Yes.
Okay.
I've said so much shit on this podcast. Why would I start lying now, Brian? I've literally admitted to the fucking
I shouldn't shame you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I won't shame you.
Lying is not something I do.
Okay. So, you said dominance, right? They want to dominate the women. It's kind of funny, though, that women try to frame this as a criticism of men, like that men are bad for wanting to dominate when 50 Shades of Grey is like one of the best-selling books of all time, and women want to be dominated in the bedroom. Hey, I'm down for some fucking gentle sex, but y'all want to be choked and all this fucking shit. Like, so on one hand, you want a man to be dominant, but you also criticize men for being dominant?
I do not want a man to dominate me. I would like a man to lead me. I would like a man to be respectful. I feel like domination is a term that's like implying that a man is superior and the woman is inferior, or whoever the partners are. Like, I would not want a man to dominate me. No, I'd want us to be on the same level. You don't like to be choked? What?
You don't like to be choked in the bedroom?
Is being choked in the bedroom being dominated?
I mean,
yeah, I think that's what he's like trying.
BDSM,
I think that's what he meant by
bondage,
that.
Domination, sadism, masochism.
No, I'm not into BDSM, but.
So you're not into like strictly gentle sex?
No, I wouldn't say that.
That's fine.
I've been choked. I've had my hair pulled and stuff, but
and you like that?
I could say yes. Yes, I do.
And that's dominating, right?
It is dominating.
If it's...
But okay, I mean, to kind of argue for you, dominance within the confines of the bedroom is different, can be different than from the relationship. So I don't want to unfairly argue against you. But so I don't get this, because you're trying to link guys who prefer to date younger women. You think, and tell me if I'm getting this right, men who prefer younger women, if some of them maybe even a good amount of them, if they could go lower, they would.
No comment.
I'm
Okay.
over this topic.
Come on, Keeko, don't
No,
give
'cause
up.
you
Kiara.
we've done this. Because you have to understand where I'm coming from. We started this argument actually the first podcast I came on.
Yep.
And we argued about it almost half the time. Second podcast I came on, we argued about it almost half the time. Like, I'm over this fucking argument. Like, I've done it for hours and hours and hours now already. Like, it's tired. It's so tired. It's my personal opinion based off personal experiences and accounts I've seen from other women, and I will die on this hill, and I'm not changing my opinion. And it sounds like you guys aren't either, so on to the next debate.
Well,
Where you
I
disagree.
mean, no, we'll stick to it for a little bit. So,
I'll stay quiet over here, and you guys can continue.
okay,
how I was
so
stating.
like, I'm trying to. It's just like this comparison is strange. Like comparing men or trying to create some sort of link that men who are attracted to younger women, again, keyword women, that it's somehow P word. Yeah, hold on. That would be like me saying that women who want to date tall men are incestophiles because they have daddy issues, because they want to look up to a guy because it reminds them of their dad. Like you have some weird incestuous fetishization to date
I don't know
taller men because they remind you of your father.
Going on with that second statement, I'm gonna ignore the hell
That's
out of
how
that.
fucking crazy
Based off
you
your
sound.
first statement, though, you keep saying young women. I'm trying to emphasize I am talking about 18 to 20 years old. I swear to God, I am.
That is young women.
I know it's young women, but you keep saying like younger women. Like I'm saying like 25 and below, or like 30 and below. Like I mean that strict gap of 18, 19, and 20.
I'm happy to talk about that gap.
I think 30-year-olds and plus should just wait until they are don't
so-
have teen
so
in their name anymore.
I'm 33.
Yes.
You would take Coral if I dated a 19-year-old.
I would look at it like, damn, like you're a bum if you have that much in common with a
What?
19-year-old. Yeah.
I mean,
or that 19-year-old. I've been like, damn, she must either be a very successful 19-year-old or he must be a very bummy 33-year-old. Because what do you guys have in common
Bro,
to
it's
be
a
dating?
W to be dating a fucking 20-year-old baddie.
See, that's the problem with it. You
I
guys
have
see it
another
as a
question.
trophy, as a reward. Like that's weird. to
But
me.
No,
we,
but
we
I'm
are
not-
the
I'm not-
prize for men, though.
Oh,
We're not
I
the
agree with that.
trophies.
Oh, I agree with that for sure. But it's like, I don't know. I don't say like, oh yeah, I just scored a 56-year-old man. I just scored a 35-year-old man. Yeah, like
Okay, so-
I just don't. I would never do that.
Let me ask you this. So you're 23, correct? Or 22?
23 basically.
Well, you're 22.
23.
Basically 23?
I'm in a couple weeks, bro.
Okay, so you're 22 though.
Yes.
Okay, I'm 33, you're 22.
Mm-hmm.
You would think it strange of me if I found you physically attractive.
I'm 22 years old now. I never said that there was nothing wrong with.
But that's only 2 years older than 20. That's not a huge difference.
I honestly look very, very different than I did at 20 years old. Very. And I'm not saying it in a sexual desiring way too. I'm saying it in the point of like dating and on. It's like here, let me back up. Let me retract. One of your biggest points, or at least Chase's biggest points the other time, was that men like younger women for fertility reasons.
Yes.
Right? So that means that's saying that you are going to be obviously dating them. I would hope you're not just meeting a random 19-year-old and them and getting them pregnant, right? So you're going to be in a relationship with them, getting married, and then having kids with them. I do see it kind of weird that somebody 30 plus is having enough in common with, which I said, there's obviously situational where there is some women who are much older for themselves and some men who aren't. But yeah, and I would say the man is either a bum or something. Like, how can you get along so well with somebody who just graduated high school when you graduated over a decade and a half ago? Like, you should be in a different place of your life.
I understand your point exactly. Like, I respect your opinion and all, but again, people can meet at the workplace. People can meet all over the world, and you might not even know their age, and then get with them, and now people are looking at you like you're a fucking perv or a weirdo, but you didn't even know her age when you first met her. And a lot of these young girls, they look a little bit older. I see nothing wrong with a guy dating a girl who's younger. There's no problem with it. And guys like anime. A lot of younger girls like anime,
No, that's a whole
video
nother
games.
thing.
No, I'm being serious. Older women.
Anime's disgusting.
I'm 28, and I've met women my age who don't like anime. They don't like video
I don't like
games.
anime
It's
either,
boring
yeah.
to them. So of course a guy's gonna talk to a 22-year-old who's into that because she's into that.
Not just
Why
the
would he?
20
Why would he talk to a 30-year-old or somebody older who's literally bagging on everything that he does? Older women, not to be rude, but a lot of them bag on men and bag on their preferences, and that's why they're intolerable. They're like so hard to be around. They have so much trauma. They don't heal from their stuff. And trust me, guys, I'm studying to be a therapist, so I talk to a lot of people. So this is not just me talking out of my mouth. I actually know this.
Can I ask
never
you?
heard
Can I
someone
ask you a
speak on
question?
her own.
So I'm 33. I'm 33. Can you articulate what advantages are there to dating a woman who is 31 versus 21? for me.
I'm not, it's not a thing about advantages. It's just I would struggle unless I'm saying, yes, there's exceptional things, but I would just struggle to see what you have in common with somebody who just graduated high school a few months ago when you've graduated a decade and a half ago. I would just, yes, you might have some
What if
things
I
in
dropped
common.
out then?
Maybe, you might have some things in common for sure. Like you might have some things in common. That's
the sex is in common.
oh my God.
I
I have
think
I have sex in common with
That's
women.
like your only.
I think you could have a lot more in common than just
You
that.
can
I
have
think
certain-
there's a
But what
lot
do-
of
what
things
That's why I'm
men
saying
have
there's
in common.
exceptional things, but
Yeah.
for the most part, most 18-year-old girls I know are not in the same place in their life as the average 30-plus-year-old man.
Okay, let me ask you a
On
question.
average, I'm saying.
What do men and women have in common in general? Like, are you talking music and shit? Because
No, I'm not saying.
I'm
I'm not even saying
talking
just
like-
music. I'm just saying like this girl is going to cheer practice while he should be hopefully having maybe a home and like paying bills and shit while she's having a bow in her hair and doing the splits. Like that's two very different things.
Yo, Carson, can you pull up a photo? I want to pull this up really quick. It's the Leonardo DiCaprio photo.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's pull this up.
I do have a dog and live alone. Actually, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so, and I'll tell you when to switch it, Carson. Not yet though. This is Leonardo DiCaprio. They broke up, but Camila or some shit.
Probably 'cause I had
That
nothing
that was
wrong.
his girlfriend for a couple years. I think he was in his 40s. She was in her early 20s. So this is what the world sees. This is what the world sees. And the next photo is what Kiara? Did I say it right? Kira?
Call me Kiko, please.
Kika. Okay. This is what you see. When you see this is what you see. Pull up the next one. Control tab over.
Okay, here we go.
This is what you see.
Damn
Oh,
near.
damn. That's how you're making it seem, though. I love Leonardo.
Like,
'Cause I said
do you
she's
see
a
the
little
difference?
Baby, yeah.
But do you see the difference? Like, it's
Yeah, because that's a 4-year-old. Like, what do you? Can we please
Oh.
agree to fucking disagree? Because
I don't think
it's
she's
not.
gonna change her point.
I'm not. Like,
Yeah.
you can't. There's literally nothing you could say to me that
I'm
I'm,
not-
going
I'm
to say
not-
you're right. Other things, sure, I'll be like, you know what? Maybe fuck. Like, you got a point. This, I'm dying on this hill.
So I
I'm
ask
dying on it.
again, what advantages are there to dating a woman who is 31 versus 21?
That she doesn't have a locker in a high school hallway. That hopefully she's not living in her parents' house
just
anymore.
put her age at 20.
Maybe that her parents are
What
tracking her
21-year-old
location.
has a locker and lives with their
have a
parents?
question.
Once again, I'm not talking about 21-year-olds. I'm talking
You said
about
18 to
18-year-olds.
20.
I thought
Well,
he was.
you-
He
yo,
just
you're
asked
shifting
you
the-
though the
you're
difference
shifting the
between.
goalposts.
She said 21. Did she not?
But okay, no, but my question
I never
was,
said anything about
what
21.
advantages are there to dating a woman who is 31 versus 21?
I
Yeah,
just
that's
listed
it.
them.
No 21-year-old
I'm
has a
thinking you'll
locker
be in
in
a
high
similar,
school.
more similar place in life. I'm not saying
A
you listen
woman
to the
who
same
is
music,
30?
you listen to the same shit.
A woman who is 30, she might have a more developed career. She
Don't
might
care.
be.
Do not care at all. But
Guys
go-
don't care
continue.
about careers.
And
When you're building a family, a man wouldn't care to build with. Okay.
Some men, depending on their earning capability, but I mean, my goal is to be retired at 40
Okay.
and I'll be able to provide for everything. And so
Okay.
Let's go,
I don't-
Brian. Good
well,
stuff.
I mean, that's.
I think that a man and a woman who are closer in age, they would just, like Kiara said, they have more in common.
Like what? What do they have in common?
A woman, I can say for surely that I'm 22 and I've made really poor decisions when I was 20 and 21 that I would not make today, that I would not.
Why does that mean that you wouldn't be able to date someone that was 30?
I'm sorry. This
Because-
is actually crazy to me. What's your name again?
Day.
Day? Okay.
Because I feel
so
like
I'm 21. So are you had this argument earlier about like the prefrontal cortex thing, and I guess your past self like 12 months ago is like way different than like decisions you would make now. So are you telling me like right now, I as a 21-year-old do not have the like enough mental capacity to make proper decisions about my body in relationships?
No, I'm saying that everybody who does not have a developed prefrontal cortex is probably not making the best decisions that they can for themselves. Because the prefrontal cortex, that's a part of the brain
So
that deals with decision making.
Yeah, I get that. So should we move the age of consent to 25 when everyone has a fully developed prefrontal cortex?
before
If
you
you're
go on
gonna
that
if you're gonna
tangent.
say that, I feel like that like you have to say that. Otherwise,
I don't.
well, then don't say that
She's
people
saying
under
it's
25
because
like.
the example we're giving is somebody, no matter the gender, forget the gender, somebody dating someone for one person who's under that time frame of your prefrontal cortex, whatever fucking getting developed, versus somebody who's already past that time where their prefrontal cortex is already developed. So it may be easier for them to, like we said before, either manipulate or girls not to realize what's going on. They could do things they wouldn't usually do.
I
Like
feel
maybe
that-
sign a lease with this man and be stuck with him forever. Or maybe they would take that they wouldn't usually take if they were older. Like there's a lot of
I feel like
it's very
when
naive
women-
to act like this doesn't happen, and you guys are women, so this is like kind of crazy.
I feel like when
that you guys
women
don't think
reach
this. Like,
a
oh.
less vulnerable age, they can make better decisions. They can be like, oh, this guy,
Men too.
maybe this guy genuinely does enjoy who I am as a person and likes being with me. I feel like maybe you are not that developed or that knowledgeable at a younger age to decipher whether a man wants you for you or your body or for like what you do for him, you know?
Yeah, so should then younger women or men not be, are we saying that like it's better that they not have relationships if they're not
We're saying they
able
have
to make good
relationships with
relationship
people on the
decisions?
same developed cortex of them. So
have
people
a
with
question.
developed cortexes have relationships with people with developed cortexes, and people with undeveloped cortexes have relationships with people with undeveloped cortexes. Does that make sense?
So I have a question.
That sounds kind of stupid to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I have a question.
I mean, a guy who's 27 could have a developed cortex, and I wouldn't. He's only 5 years older than me. So you're saying I shouldn't be with him?
Oh,
How old are you?
Damiana
22.
with the.
I don't think
That's what
that,
I'm
I don't
just
think that
curious,
age gap
like-
is too far out.
No.
because
It's like when we say a point,
Interesting.
there could be no exceptions, but then when you guys say a point, it's like, well, obviously we mean an exception of this. Well, obviously.
Well, I'm just
It's
trying
like,
to
but we
tease.
can't
It's
do
just
it
a
on the
crazy
same
thing to
time.
say
just
that people who
curious.
are
No, you're
like
good, you're good. I'm
like
not
the
really talking about
21-year-olds
them.
like my like but you're basically just saying like I don't have the mental capacity to
You
I'm
can
not
stuff in
saying
one
that.
statement and like
you
let
know
it
what I'm
go for the
saying,
whole
Tara?
podcast
What I'm
sometimes.
saying, Tara, is that you may not have enough life experience or development to make the best decisions possible.
She's only
That's
a
all
year
I'm
younger
saying.
than us, though. Like,
Yeah, and I'm saying I don't either. I don't.
I feel like that's
Wait.
not a great argument because even the girl last time that was on here, she was like 30 something, didn't make the best decisions. So that doesn't always
Oh,
go for
yeah.
every. Yeah. So when she keeps saying this young
Oh.
shit, like it has nothing to do with that. It's
Yeah,
how you were
and that's-
raised, who taught you, what your upbringing was. It has nothing to do with that. Yes,
Oh.
I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't go for everybody. And with all these young entrepreneur women,
Of course there's
who are-
exceptions
who are
with
lit-
everything.
You're gonna tell me
There's
that a girl
exceptions
who's
with
doing OF at
everything.
18 years old, she's literally flicking her being online, lives on her own, doing her own thing, can make her own
Did
decisions.
we not
now?
say there's no
All of a
exceptions?
sudden-
Did we
all
not
of a
say
sudden-
there's no
Okay,
exceptions?
I didn't say- I didn't say she can-
All of a sudden,
Okay.
did we not
Okay,
start
girl,
those
how old are
exceptions?
She
you?
can definitely
Fucking younger
Calm
than you.
down, I can
guys,
tell.
Hold on, guys. One mic at a time. One
Okay.
mic.
Papa
One, guys.
Psycho.
Okay, she can definitely make decisions. That's not what I
One mic.
said.
You don't hear your tone
That's
how
not
you're
what I
speaking to me,
said.
you're insane. If you don't
Stop,
talk
stop,
to me in a
stop.
polite manner.
I'm talking. You're
You're,
like
your
yelling.
tone of voice is very rude.
You're probably,
actually.
you're
I
probably
want-
just offended.
No,
Everyone,
I'm not,
can we
because
just-
none of your points have affected me because they've all been
can we
stupid
just-
as fuck. So I
Why
really
you're
don't agree with
screaming
them.
and
If anything, hers,
insulting?
I've gotten some of yours, and honestly, sometimes when you say, it,
What?
I'm like, maybe I get it. But a lot of it just sounds like pick me, choose me, love me. Like, you think about Andrew Tate.
We can't have the opposite fucking opinion of
No, you
somebody
can't.
without being a pick me.
No,
think I'm a
I never
pick
said
me?
that. I never said that, but the ones that you're like broadcasting are just very pick me-ish.
Well,
like,
can I be honest with you? You're literally just arguing for no reason, insulting me. I haven't insulted you once. This is a debate, Mama. Take it
called me a
easy.
5-year-old the last
It's
sentence.
a debate.
You just called me a
It's a
5-year-old.
debate.
I'm literally.
It's a debate. Calm down. And yes,
You were
I'm
the
Team
one-
Tate because you keep bagging on him. Team Tate.
Oh
Stop
my
saying
god,
that.
for the sex trafficker, yes, Team Tate.
Where's
the
your proof?
sex trafficker.
You got proof?
He posted it online
Where's your
himself
proof?
for a podcast.
He just got
Where's your proof?
arrested.
Yeah,
Where's your
like,
proof?
he's
He
in
just
jail.
got
Your
arrested.
man's in jail.
I need proof, not accusations.
I think they want me out. I'm like totally ready.
Yes. Peace.
I'm totally ready to go.
Don't worry.
Nobody
we'll-
fucking asked you,
I'll-
though. That was
I'll-
crazy
whoa,
part.
whoa. Bring this. Okay, let's.
I can't cuss all of a sudden. We've been cussing all podcasts. You act like now because I'm cussing. It's a fucking big ass deal.
Savenya, Momonissimo.
Like you literally talk about labia removal
Whoa.
surgery on here, and
Whoa.
I can't say fucking. Like, come on.
Hey, don't shame women with large labias.